Stay on with us. I'll come back to you once again. We have another breaking update coming in as far as that key waterway is concerned, because tensions continue to simmer in that key waterway, that is the Strait of Hormuz. And reports are suggesting that Iran is laying more mines in the key waterway. And we're learning that IRGC Navy has deployed fresh mines in the Strait of Hormuz. US Intel has confirmed that new mine laying activity is currently underway. Iran has laid new naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz. That is something that not just US but other countries have also objected to. The shipping traffic has completely collapsed there in that key waterway is what we're learning. And this is as far as the US Intel is concerned. They have confirmed that new mine laying activity is currently underway in the Strait of Hormuz. Srinja, shed some more light on this, because US Intel is hinting at and confirming that IRGC Navy is deploying fresh mines in the Strait of Hormuz, because Iran has made it quite clear that they will not be reopening the Strait of Hormuz. They will not be allowing ships to pass through until the naval blockade is removed by the United States, because last Friday they removed they reopened the Strait of Hormuz but closed it immediately after US made it quite clear that they will not be removing the blockade, the naval blockade from there. And right now we're learning that they are laying new mines. The new mine laying activity is currently underway.
It's a narrow strait, so mining it is not very difficult. You have to lay some mines, and already it's closed in some senses. Even if it's a threat of a mine, why should ship owners risk their ships in an area which may or may not be mined? That's really the first thing. And you don't necessarily have to mine the Strait of Hormuz to stop shipping. As I had mentioned earlier, all you have to do is fire at the odd ship. The Iranians still have enough missiles. The Iranians still have enough drones, armed drones. So if a ship is passing, say a huge tanker, and the Iranians direct one of their drones, kamikaze drones, Shaheen drones, towards the ship, that's it. You don't need mines. But if Iran has already laid mines, then it becomes a no-go area for most shipping companies. No one wants to take a risk.
Absolutely, because if the mines are laid, that is not just going to affect US, but other countries as well, including India, because our ships are also stranded there. So it remains to be seen whether the situation will escalate in the coming days. Stay on with us, because inside Hormuz, the picture is far more contested. While Donald Trump claims that total control over Hormuz, Iran is now asserting their own authority over this key waterway. Iran has claimed to collect the first revenue from the transit fee imposed on the ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian media has claimed that the initial proceeds have already been deposited into the country's central account. Remember, Iran is collecting toll from this key waterway, and separately we're learning that there are multiple reports also claiming that some vessels were already being charged in formally with the fees reportedly going up to $2 million per tanker, and that is something that Iran had decided on. Let me take you through the details. Who really controls the Strait of Hormuz, because US has made it quite clear that no ship will be moving without the US approval, and that is what is being called the naval blockade. Iran has made it quite clear that they will be charging a toll fee for all the ships passing through that key waterway. So as far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned, that has become a point of contention between the two countries, with US imposing the naval blockade there, and Iran saying that they will not be reopening the Strait of Hormuz until that naval blockade is removed by the United States. On that, we have another breaking update coming in, another statement that is coming from US President Donald Trump. He has said that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to extend a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah by 3 weeks after the talks at the White House on Thursday. So this is the latest that we're learning as far as the fight between Lebanon and Israel Israel are concerned, but the point of contention is Hezbollah. But we're learning that the ceasefire has now been further extended. Donald Trump has said that meeting between Israel's and Lebanon's ambassador to the United States went very well. The meeting was the second high-level negotiation between the two countries since the last 1 week. On that, let me once again bring in my colleague Srinjoy. Srinjoy, shed some light on this, because Israel is fighting a war with Iran and also with Lebanon, but the point of contention is Hezbollah. There was a meeting that was held by Donald Trump of the ambassadors as far as two countries are concerned. How successful was this meeting?
Well, first of all, this is one of the positives, because so far that ceasefire holds. And this ceasefire was not an easy one. The ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, because in Lebanon, in southern Lebanon, the Hezbollah have a very formidable presence. They have their rockets, they have their short-range missiles, and they have been using it with great effect on northern Israel. Now, if there is a ceasefire, and if there are lots of ifs here, if the Lebanese can control the Hezbollah, and that has always been a question mark, if the Lebanese can control the Hezbollah, then it's a huge positive. Then that entire area becomes peaceful, and that is something that would be a huge plus for the people of Lebanon, for the people of Israel, for the people of the region.
And that is quite important. Let me take our viewers through the details about what Donald Trump has said as far as the ceasefire extension between the two countries are concerned. He said that the President of the U.S., Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ambassador to Israel, Ambassador to Lebanon, met today in the high-ranking representatives of Israel and Lebanon in the Oval Office. He goes on to say that the meeting went very well. The U.S. is going to work with Lebanon in order to help it protect itself from Hezbollah. That is an armed proxy of Iran. The ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon will be extended by 3 weeks. I look forward in the near future to hosting the Prime Minister of Israel and the President of Lebanon. It was a great honor to be a participant at this very historic meeting, President Donald Trump. That is what he has mentioned here. The key point is that the ceasefire has been extended by 3 more weeks. So that is the good news as far as both the countries are concerned, but also concerning because the last time when the ceasefire was announced, it was also violated by both the sides, is what we're learning. But a key message that Donald Trump has given, that the meeting went very well, and he will continue to work with both the countries in order to, Lebanon especially, to help it protect itself from Hezbollah, is what we're learning so far. But in the latest, the ceasefire between the two countries, that is Lebanon and Israel, that has been extended. We'll continue to get you more details on that. Thank you so much to my colleague Srinjoy for getting us all those details. With this, a very short break.